Yo, yo, B Marsh Boxing, live and direct, back at it, man. Had a wonderful night tonight. B Marsh Boxing, this is my post fight review. Had a wonderful night tonight, you know what I mean? I was up in the joint, the MGM National Hard Boxing Hill, Maryland. I was up there to support our local champion, Gary Russell Jr. Now, Gary Russell was fighting his mandatory, and Jojo Diaz came to fight. But let's get into it. You know what I mean? Through the first 6 rounds, I had it 3-3, 3 rounds apiece. I gave the first round to Gary Russell, second round to Jojo Diaz, round three Russell, four Diaz, five Russell, six Diaz. You know what I mean? What both guys were doing, Gary Russell was winning. This fight, I had it. Gary Russell was winning mostly off of activity. You know what I mean? He was pumping that jab, double and tripling the jab. Even though a lot of punches got caught on the gloves by Jojo Diaz, but some were getting in. You know what I mean? He wasn't letting his left hand, his main weapons go, and that's the right hand, the right hook, and the straight left. He wasn't really letting it go like that. He was trading body shots with the man Jojo Diaz, and Jojo Diaz was throwing some crippling body shots from where I was sitting at on the second level. I was hearing them body shots loud and clear. You know what I mean? Them joints sounded like a cannon. You know what I mean? The man Jojo Diaz, I knew that going in. I said that on my prediction. Almost everything I said on my prediction, whether it was for this fight or the Adonis Stevenson fight, came to fruition. Only difference was I picked Stevenson to win by a KO, but stoppage, excuse me. But that's neither here nor there. I thought the man Jojo Diaz body shot game is pretty impressive, and he showed it up tonight. You know what I mean? He was throwing some crippling body shots, but he threw some combinations every now and then. But he was more throwing power shots. Didn't really throw much of a jab, which I do think he needs to incorporate in this game. It'll open up for more and set up more power shots because he was power shot hungry tonight. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure I didn't see the punch stats, but I'm pretty sure he edged the man Gary Russell in overall power shots landed. You know what I mean? Probably even thrown because maybe not thrown because Gary Russell was the more active fighter. But then after six, it was all Gary Russell. Gary Russell incorporated a part of his game I haven't really seen him do before, and that's fighting off the back foot, going backwards. You know what I mean? Gary Russell ain't a guy who's gonna be fighting on his toes, but he or bouncing around. You know what I mean? But he was boxing, going backwards, throwing left hooks and right hooks to the body, throwing shots to the head. You know what I mean? And he landed a lot of shots to the head, much more than the man Jojo Diaz, especially going backwards. You know what I mean? And one thing, Gary Russell, that's my guy. I wish, he's not the most accurate puncher. You know what I mean? He wins mostly fights on activity. You check it, and he was landing some clean shots in there, some clean right and left hooks. You know what I mean? But nothing that hurt the man Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz in the round 6 through 12, and I did give Jojo Diaz round 12, so I gave him round 6 through 11 to the man Gary Russell. You know what I mean? But Jojo Diaz was coming forward, bringing pressure with his high guard. Gary Russell was punching around the man's elbows, hopefully trying to make the man drop his high guard to leave his head open, and he did get some open shots in there. But Jojo Diaz wasn't letting his hands go in the later rounds. His work rate plummeted, you know what I mean? And it was surprising because, he made it a close fight in the first 6 rounds, you know what I mean? I think Steve Farhood had scored it after the first six, 4-2 in favor of Gary Russell. There were a couple close rounds in there, but I had it 3-3. But Jojo Diaz actually left a lot on the table, you know what I mean? He didn't let his hands go or apply pressure. The way he fought in round 12, he should have been fighting like that for the championship rounds and some of the middle rounds. He probably would have made this a very close fight, you know what I mean? But overall, I had this fight 116 to 112, 8 rounds to four, in favor of our champion, Mr. Gary Russell. You know what I mean? Too bad he didn't do no Jim Gray wasn't there, so he ain't do no post fight interview with Jim Gray. But what I'd like next for Gary Russell, you see, you have a new champion out there in England with Josh Warrington beating the man Lee Selby, who was holding that IBF featherweight strap hostage for years. Had a lot of questionable decisions in his title reign. But now that he's been relieved of his title, I'd like to see Gary Russell get this guy Josh Warrington in the ring. Bring this guy over to the U.S., man. Bring this guy to the MGM National Harbor in Oxon Hill, Maryland, and Gary Russell make that your home base. If not, I'd like to see Gary Russell get the winner of Abner Myers and Leo Santa Cruz. You know what I mean? Let's see if Gary Russell, can get these guys to actually get in the ring with him, because all these champions at 126 been avoiding him. You know what I'm saying? What's the other guy? The Valdez kid, he got fucked up by Quick, so he's probably still recovering, you know what I mean, with that broken jaw. But Gary Russell should try to get unified with guys, you know what I mean? He needs to get a unification pop, and he said he's been trying to do that since he's a champ. And I believe him, None of these guys want to fight him, you know what I mean? Gary Russell, even though tonight I think a fight between him and Leo Santa Cruz, that's a difficult fight for Gary Russell, you know what I mean? Because the guy Santa Cruz is a volume puncher. He's not going to be like Jojo Diaz. He's going to let his hands go. He's going to throw probably 80 to 90 to 100 punches per round. And he's a taller dude. He could even box. He showed that against Frampton. And even though Gary Russell has beat the man in the amateurs, the pros is a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for Gary Russell. Hopefully, he gets to fight before this year ends, twice a year, and Gary Russell wins this fight. And don't let nobody fool you. Jojo Diaz is a tough opponent. This ain't no bum that Gary Russell beat. This guy is a formidable opponent. 26 and 0, 14 KOs. The guy actually has boxing skills, but there's levels to this. And Mr. Gary Russell showed him why he is the WBC featherweight champion. Same title fellas like Salvador Sanchez held. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that Gary Russell retained his belt. B Marsh Boxing. I had a good night up at the MGM. Had a very good night. The atmosphere was live up in there. I sat around a lot of casuals, to be honest. There was a lot of casuals who, they sure came to show support for Gary Russell on some hometown shit. But as far as them, a lot out of all boxing fights I've been to in my life, and I've been to plenty. I've been to plenty. I didn't get to really have much boxing conversation with the people sitting around me. You know what I mean? They really didn't have the kind of knowledge to really get into some boxing talk, but it's all right. I enjoyed the fight. Seeing Gary Russell's younger brothers on the card, Gary Antoine and there's Gary Antoine and I can't remember the other ones. Gary Antonio, but Gary Antoine definitely looked special at 140. He looked spectacular tonight. Knocked his opponent out, a Dominican guy, in 2 rounds. You know what I mean? So congratulations to the whole Russell family. We got another one. We got a W for the city tonight. And let's see what's next for both guys. B Marsh Boxing, I'm gone. Peace.